What's up guys? Hope you guys are having an amazing day today. In today's video, we're going to be going over some of the best lures to use for trout and what times of the year. Right now it is November, it is coming towards the winter. So these lures that we'll be going over today will mostly be towards the winter trout fishing, but it will also be some summer lures you want to use and just specific times you want to use specific lures. And we're going to be getting all into it. As you can see here, I've got them all already lined up and everything. And we're going to be going over some of the good things about these lures and some of the bad things and when you really want to use these. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let's get right into it. Alright, so let's start off with what we got on the left here. So this is the smallest one. It is more of a fly than even a jig. Let's get it focused up there. And this is what you'd really use on a fly rod, but I have actually put a sinker on one of these and thrown it on a spinning rod and been able to catch some very nice trout on these here. It's the smallest one I have. Then these are more the ones that you most likely use with a spinning rod. As you can see, it's got a little bit of a weight up at the top here. And now we're getting into some of the bigger ones. This one I really like, all the feathers at the bottom here, all this fluff. The fish can really see that, especially in moving water. It shows up very well. And I've even gone to sizes like this here for some stream trout. And off and on when I'm fishing bigger rivers and stuff, going for some very big rainbow trout up north, off and on I'll throw something like this. It looks super big, but believe me, they see this in the water, this flutters all around. They're gonna go crazy for this, especially during the winter. I love throwing these because when these fish get very unactive, I'll off and on just throw one of these out there instead of a spinner like this, and they're just gonna hit this thing like crazy because I'll move it super slowly, I'll put it right in front of their face and just flutter it up and down like this super slowly, because these fish, it's during the winter, they're going to be very inactive and they're just going to be waiting around for bait to come towards them. And so now let's get on to the second type of lures we got here. If it'll just focus, there we go. We have small little trout spinners. I prefer Panther Martins. I also have my own brand here. These are my own type of spinners. I really like these, and I actually made 2 full videos on these and me showing you how to make some and showing you that they will absolutely destroy the fish. And now let's get to these Panther Martins. I love these things so much because they have so many different sizes. I usually go with a 1/16 or a 1/32 ounce because you can use bigger ones. It'll have way more action in the water, but I've used a 1/16 and I've caught very, very big trout on ones that would also bite a 1/8 or 1/4. But as you see here, it just spins in the water. I use these during the summer, winter, spring, fall. No matter what time of year, I'll throw these things. Because especially with Panther Martins, because they're not running on a clevis, they can move very slowly and still spin absolutely amazing. So these are definitely my top choice, Panther Martins. They come in so many different sizes and different colors. This is actually a Vibrix, I'm pretty sure. Yep, a Vibrix rooster tail. But it's basically the same type of dilemma as a Panther Martin, just they are $1 cheaper actually. And they work just as well. They're basically the exact same thing, just cheaper, as you can call it. But I do love Panther Martin. They make some amazing spinners. This one here is Panther Martin. But, I mean, they're just amazing. The colors and stuff, they'll catch you some trout for sure. Back to what I was saying, actually, about the first ones. There are lots of different sizes of flies and stuff you got here. Let me look at that. You got this one, which is about the same size as the one down there. This is a little bit overkill, but I guess for some lake trout, and I wouldn't even, not lake trout, but for some rainbows and stuff up north near Duluth and stuff, I could see some 8-pounder, around 4 or 5 up there hitting one of these in the rivers and stuff they have up there. And there's also tons of small ones. I actually got this box at a secondhand store. I got about 15 of these things for $3. It was a great deal. Put that back over here, and then I have a whole bunch more of different colors here, which I'll off and on throw something a little bit brighter if the water is super murky, something like this. I call it the bumblebee. Something a little bright. If it's pretty clear water, I'll throw something more clear. It all depends on what your perspective on this is. All right, I went and grabbed some bigger spinners here. These are the 4-ounce spinners, and as you can see, there's a big difference here. This is what I'd recommend for pike and bass. But you will throw these up in some, rivers, lakes and stuff up north, and you'll get some huge bites on these things from some trout. They will definitely hit these. Most of them probably won't stay on, but I've had some hits with these, definitely. So now we're moving on to spoons. I am not the best at spoons. I like spoons. They work great for just fluttering in the water and some very slow retrieves with spoons. This is what I mostly use these for. This is in the shape of a fish. This one's just your average little spoon shape here. But believe me, if you want to throw these in some moving water, just do some slow retrieves, hit these things off the bottom. You will definitely get some hits. They look just like that. They work great. I don't really have too much to say about spoons. There's nothing really too bad with them. They work pretty well. They are pretty hard to use if you do not know what you're doing, especially with trout spoons. Bass and pike spoons are basically just an easy retrieve. But these, if you do some fluttering, you will get some immediate attacks. Trout just absolutely love these. But not only trout, bass, pike, perch, crappie, absolutely destroy spoons just like this. So now we are moving on to the last lure of choice here. This is what I would use, not really during the winter, mainly because the fish aren't going to be that active and they're probably not going to want to hit this. But during the summer and spring, this is one of my go-tos for trout. This won't get as much action as the smaller spinners, but you will be able to hook into some bigger trout, especially with the Rapala jerkbaits and the sinking ones, and also the shallow divers. They will just absolutely destroy these. Especially, I picked this one out for $8 at Shields. It is a nice little rainbow trout color on here, absolutely just glimmers in the water, and the trout just absolutely love these things. You just do a slight little jerk. If you guys know what I'm talking about, if you do a lot of fishing, you know how to use a jerk bait, and you just jerk it back and forth like this and kind of just basically do what you usually do with the jerk bait. You can reel it in straight, you can jerk it, a lot of things you can do, but trout will just go crazy for these things when you put it in front of their face compared to something that just shines like this. But both of them work absolutely well. But a lot of people tell me I should start using jerk baits more than spinners, but I just love spinners so much. They're just so much fun, but jerk baits are just, they will get you the bigger fish, but spinners will get you smaller and bigger. But you know, there's a lot of people like them, a lot of people hate them, a lot of controversy. But to go over all of them, my top would probably be these, because this works year round. You can use these things. And I would use this more spring to summer. This spring, summer, fall, you name it, I'd use it. And I don't ever use jigs other than in the winter when the fish just are super inactive. Especially with something big like that, I'd use something probably around this size when they're very inactive. But it depends what the temperature and stuff is. That really affects how the fish are going to be acting. And if it's been super cold, and it has been, it's just been super cold lately, you throw something like this, when it gets warmer, they're going to be attacking it just like crazy. And there's not really too much else I can say about these lures. If you have any more information or questions, leave it in the comments below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. So I see you guys in the next one. Peace out. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.